This is just a test. What are you doing with that test? How about that? How about that? Testing 1, 2. Stimhack on Twitch. Stimhack League Finals. Checking it out. This is just a test. Yeah, it doesn't look like that.
Every great story needs an epic final chapter. You leave only the strongest characters and make them fight for the glory. A force united by their quests. Stealth bombers, the wizards showing new tricks. The golden boys, the flying angels, the most feared offensive. The unsung heroes, the unstoppable stampede. They are all here. Let the battles begin. Showing new tricks. Golden boys, the flying angels, the most feared offensive, the unsung heroes, the unstoppable stampede.
Alright guys, just about ready to start the league. Let me go advertise a little bit. Alright, so Nobo is on Octagon, even though he's not in the Skype chat. What's up, Doge? Dodge Pong. The Bluebird. Everybody is here. And we're going to have Vex versus Rotom Appliance. We're going to be doing round robin of the Stimhack League top 4. Our first game is Vex versus Rotom Appliance. I have no idea what decks these people are playing. Fox only. Nice that we have a, 4-person event here. This is the way we've done it in the past. And it's worked out pretty well. Round robin, so everybody's going to play a full match against everybody else. It's 4 players, so that's 3 matches for all of you who are counting. Tiebreaker will be a single game single game playoff in the case that we do need. And sides, I guess, will be randomized for that because I don't have a better idea. If anybody has a better idea, you can tell me. But I don't want to play too many extra games. Unfortunately, I do not have do not have the overlay available, so you're gonna have to look at regular old ugly Octagon. Uh-oh. No, I'm not supposed to be a spectator, Mac. I am supposed to be regular. No time limits for these games, also. Alright, well, I guess that's good that he restarted the game because I was having a lot of trouble resizing that Octagon. And I don't think I have the image pack for the Valley, so you might have to look at some ugly cards. Yeah, no clot is a sort of bold meta call you might be able to make in this sort of format because you only have 3 opponents, so you could get lucky and dodge all the clots. It might not be a bad try if you think you're good enough with Astrobiotics. Maybe you can even go 2-1 if you just play against one player with clot. So I don't think it's actually insane to go ahead and try and play any Unfast events in this tournament. Or this little playoff, I guess. The League Finals. Alright, let's drag this up. Anthony will hopefully be joining us a little later for some commentary. The baby streaming. That's me. If the tiebreaker ends 2-2-2-0, that's a good question. I think I'll do head-to-head to break tiebreakers on that in that instance. Or we could alternatively do Stimhack rankings. That works too. Yeah, let's just go with Stimhack League rankings for the tiebreaker for if there's multiple people. If there's 2 people, I'll do a playoff. And I guess Stimhack League ranking can decide... Oh boy, we're having trouble. Having trouble with people on the wrong side of the board. Classic Octagon problems. All right, we are away. We've got Vex starting off with Andy here, and there it is, near Earth Hub. Whoever called it, called it. Take a look at Rotom's hand. He is playing some sort of Astrobiotics. He's got Double Hedge Fund Biotic, Melange, Eli. Maybe the Melange says, I don't know. But this is a pretty good starting hand. You can go like Hedge Fund, install Melange, install Eli on HQ maybe. It would force a discard if he does choose to tap Melange next turn. So that is like a pretty minor consideration. And I don't think you want to leave up your HQ against Criminal in turn 1. So he's going to have to play that ice. Oh, he just draws a card rather than installs Melange. So I guess he plans on protecting it. Back over to Vex. It seems like he's got some Stealth Andy, maybe with some Drippy Con, because I see that Dyson Memchip could be Supplier. He's going to go ahead and take a Click 1 Sure Gamble and then Dirty Laundry and R&D for the free access. Misses there. But now we can set up, hotel security testing, and that's going to be good to, keep Andy's head start going deeper into the game. An Ichi 1.0 picked up by Rotom. Andy did see that, so it might be a little more difficult than normal to maybe get him with the Ichi. And if he goes ahead and installs it now, as it is the only piece of ice, it's going to be pretty obvious, I think, where it is. So this turn he does go ahead and installs the Naked Melange and picks up a Quandary. That's going to give him some flexibility with ice placement. He could choose to Quandary up the Melange and maybe Ishi R&D. That would allow him the Melange next turn with protection and not force a discard on him. Instead, he goes for Hedge Fund, and he's going to Quandary up on R&D. So he's going to leave the Melange unprotected here. I think the chances are it's probably going to get trashed. This leaves Vex with like a pretty reasonable turn of security testing, run the Naked Remote, and then install the 2 cards he draws off of Earthrise, or just install like those 2 cards would be pretty good. Now he can also make use of Dirty Laundry on the security testing run if he chooses to do so. First he sets us up, and I guess he's gonna choose to run last click on this Naked Remote if he does choose to run it. Not advisable. If he runs into a snare here, it could be game over, actually, depending on the MBN deck he's playing. But he does choose to go last. Yeah, so, I mean, I would have recommended that he, did the Dirty Laundry check before he installed the Dyson Underworld, but his Drippy Con's online and he's not punished for it. I don't know if he has any idea what Rotom is playing or not. And there's a Sweep. Always a little late against Andy. Only 4 cards in hand for Andy right now, and I think MBN is sitting on plenty of money, so I'd be surprised if he plays the Sweep this turn. Yeah, drawing a card seems pretty good. You don't really want to Biotic out of Beal, waiting for that Astro Script. He could go ahead and make a Toll Booth Remote. That'll draw him another card, and if he wants, he can try and rush that Beal behind it. Okay. Joke's on me. Sweep it is. You could think about trying to shut off security testing, but before any programs come out, Ichi is going to be a no-res, and testing is going to go on Archives because it's usually the least important place to res ice. So he just takes a credit. Click 1 HQ. There's an Eli there, and interestingly, it's res. I feel like I would no res here just because of Siphon. And he doesn't really have anything in play that's super important. So, if some stuff got trashed, it would be expensive for the corp and he would have all the money. So a little bit of a dangerous res there, but no Siphon, so he's still okay. And Vex is going to take a timeout for a second. So we can discuss some Stimhack related things. Some other related things. Oh, never mind. He's back, so no time to discuss shit. All right. So another NAPD for MBN. Not really what you want to be seeing. I think if I'm playing MBN, I'm making the toll booth remote here. Just to see another card. You'd love to see like a Jackson or an Astro script. Oh, he goes for R&D, trying to tax the runner out. That's not a bad plan either. Oh, that's the Ichi, actually. Wow, and just trashes the Quandary right off the bat. I don't know about that trash. I feel like there's just there's only one credit to be gained by trashing it, and it could potentially have a lot of upside if you do end up trashing any programs with the Ichi. Although I don't expect he will be able to, as Rotom actually just saw the Ichi on turn 1. So Andy takes the time to re-hotel and money up. Let's see what he got off that hotel. And there's another deal. Definitely not what you want to see. So got a Mimic. Interesting to see Mimic out of Stealth Andy when you do have the Switchblade available. Anyway, back on the other side of the table, I would say it's probably time to go Toll Booth Beal here. Maybe even Toll Booth NAPD Advance. You really don't want to be scoring out this Beal with this Biotic Labor. It'll leave you with no fast advance for if you do find an Astro. That pad campaign is pretty good, but if you play the pad campaign, now you're going up to 7, you're going to have to discard. You could just discard an NAPD, it's not the end of the world. And since the Astro is now in hand, Biotic is online. And an NAPD is pitched. I think because of security testing, he can afford to get away with that sort of thing. It's unlikely Archives is going to get checked for, dirty laundry or anything like that. So, pretty safe to make that discard. But Bank Job off of Andy is going to put a really huge credit lead on the table. And when Rotom, or when Vex goes to score this Astro next turn, which I assume he's going to do, he can do it and actually even res the Toll Booth if he doesn't res the pad campaign. Although I guess he'll want to res the pad campaign now. So Switchblade comes down. An Eli for NEH. And, I mean, it's getting into dangerous legwork territory. If I'm Andy and I have the legwork, I'm probably playing it next turn. So, yeah. Another NAPD, last thing you want to see. Because it's better than the third deal. But yeah, so he's going to take his fast advance while he can get it. No Cloud available for Andy. And back over to Vex, now under, the usual NEH pressure. Oh, HQ interface. I somehow just failed to recognize that was even in hand. And then clicks through the Eli to get in. So it's not quite a legwork, but it's something, and it's going to hit an agenda. At least one. Rotom doesn't have enough to steal 2 NAPDs, but he does have just about enough to steal both of the Beals out of MBN's hand, and that's a huge setback. Definitely not what you want. There's Jackson Howard you definitely want. Vex says he comes back later. I don't get it. What's going on? I don't know if you guys can really see, but banter. This is banter I don't understand. Shout out to the chat who's in here. Veteran Explorer. Oh, this is the wrong stream title. Can I edit this? Well, I'll edit it afterwards. Jackson Howard gets used here. There's a structure, not the most common thing out of Near Thought, and a Viper, probably meaning that we're foregoing Architect in this deck. I don't know what Sentries we're running if it's not Architect. And then he just goes ahead and draws one card, keeping the NAPD. And an Astroscript program. So there could be another click through Eli to try and take a poke at HQ. But I think R&D is probably a little more likely. Rotom has 9, which means that he has enough to rest Toll Booth. You probably don't really want to be rezzing the Ichi right now. Ooh. Vex goes ahead and checks HQ. So this could be the game, or at the very least fruitful. We got an NAPD and an Astro. If that other Astro gets scored, I'm going to call the game. And oh my god! Okay, so there you go. Down with NEH, up with Stealth Andy. Obviously, not a great draw for Near but, you know, some timely perfect accesses. And the game goes to Andy. Maybe because I played on the wrong side. Yeah, I think NEH is an okay choice. Although, he did get punished for having an opponent. Alright, is that another Near Hub? Oh my god. I just can't get off of it. Let's see if this sets up the right way for me. Okay, so we've got Valencia versus Marathon this time. We'll see if Valencia can run him over in the same sense. Wow, that's two Astrobiotics. Two Astrobiotics in the top 4. People just don't seem to give a shit about Clot. And as you're playing against, Andy and Valencia, maybe you don't have to worry as much as if you were playing against Kate or Max or something. So that's a pretty good hand for NEH. Over on the other side, Rotom's got a pretty ugly one, Plascrete, double Parasite, which is okay against NEH, but not exactly what you want, and Deja Vu, just generally a bad early game card. Alright, so a hedge fund off the top for NEH, which makes it that much better. Probably... There's a number of things you could do here. I think I'm probably installing the marked accounts right now. I'm not gonna put money on it. Just install marked accounts and maybe ice R&D. Nope. I'm gonna wait on marked accounts. That's okay too. A little bit safer. If you install the marked accounts, you might draw into an agenda when you got Ice HQ. It's a little bit telling. I think Valencia's got to just do liberated shit here. Click for credit, liberated. Not really another good option here. You can't afford to spend money on anything but liberated, otherwise you're not getting liberated into play anytime soon. Alright, so there's the marked accounts. Put some money on that marked accounts. And it's going to be tough, even with the bad publicity, to justify trashing this marked accounts for Valencia, because she's just not sitting on very much money. Although, from the NEH side, yeah, you might want to pop it up. Ooh, pop up on Archives. Okay, so a little bit speculative play there. I think I would have thought about putting it in front of that marked accounts. I don't think the marked accounts is going to get trashed just because of Valencia's hand, but there are plenty of situations where Valencia is going to want to trash that. So looking pretty good for Rotom here, I would say. Or no, I'm sorry, looking pretty good for Vex. A gamble off the top is pretty much exactly what you want, just more money. If there's Katie Jones in this deck, maybe you want to find that a little bit later. I think after finding that gamble, I'm probably trashing that marked accounts, but that's a tough call. But, NEH is just where it wants to be. You can go ahead and score your breaking news here. Try and dig yourself for the Atro. You've got the Biotic ready. Instead, it looks like we're going to try Ice. Ice and just a couple monies. Rotom finds a knife. That's going to be good against the Eli. Or really, yeah, I mean, it's going to be good against the Eli. Maybe the Parasites can take care of, other stuff. There's always the fear of face checking an Architect against NEH, though, and it's going to be tough for him to run, especially on R&D. So, yeah, takes the HQ run instead. I agree. Probably less likely to be Architect there, but is going to be punished a little bit for a toll booth. Valencia's bad publicity going a little ways to making that less painful, at least. Just showcasing the bajillion ways that bad publicity is really good for you. So after that face check, Val's looking like she has less money than she thought. But this is a great play, parasiting the toll booth as early as possible. And then getting rid of that liberated account. So that toll booth is going to tick down. Hopefully, that can be relevant before any sort of crazy fast advance goes on. And I missed this install. So there's a pad campaign. And the pad campaign is going to go behind the ice. Well, I guess we'll find out what that one is later. It's probably either DBS pad or Sansan. Maybe Jackson Howard. Or maybe just a sneaky agenda. With 2 Biotics, I don't know if you really want to be doing sneaky agenda plays here, but it's always a possibility. And one of the reasons Nearth Hub is still reasonable. And checks R&D. No res, tells him no Architect, pretty much safe to keep going. I forget what Ice was R&D, but it looks like Vex is trying to save his money for these Biotics, maybe. Like I said, I forget what's there, so. He will be at AstroScript money if he doesn't choose to res the pad campaign. I think he will, just because, it's just the one pad campaign. Yeah, okay, so an Architect finally, and then he's going to go ahead and score this slow advance breaking news. I guess that's what he did with the point before. I don't know about that play. If you do end up with, a Katie coming down that turn, that could be definitely backbreaking. But giving up that point for free in the case that he does check could be pretty bad. Especially, it just can be bad. You don't want to give up that free point if you don't have to. So we're going to go check the pad campaign. And this time he's running through pop-up window. I don't think you can justify this trash. Maybe you can. It's tough. It's tough with Rotom on 13 credits and with not really any way to gain a lot more money in sight. I guess Deja Vu for... I never did the math on Deja Vu for Liberated account, but it doesn't sound particularly appealing. And he goes back to R&D. So you got to think maybe this Architect will show up on R&D soon enough. Okay, so it was an Eli over there. That's probably going to get eaten by a knife. If Vex does manage to, put another piece of ice that he can res there, it's going to discourage it for a little while. Daily Cast off the top for Val is a good draw. A great economy card, obviously, but it's not just going to, it's not gonna give him enough money to just like go all the way. He still only has a Grimoire installed and a Parasite, and we do see the Architect showing up on R&D, so that's going to dissuade Knife this turn. Rotom draws into another Daily Cast, and I think that's a really huge draw, and a Katie Jones. So now he can go Katie, discard, or he can play like Daily Cast and maybe Parasite the Eli, or just drop the Knight. There's a number of options here. I think my play is probably Katie, discard Deja Vu. I just don't see Deja Vu making a huge difference this game. But yeah, tough decision. You definitely want to use Katie the turn you get her out. Maybe the correct play is just Daily Cast Katie Jones. It's Daily Cast Parasite, Daily Cast Katie Jones, Daily Cast Knight. All those plays are fine. And yeah, he just goes ahead and parasites this pop-up window. That's okay too. I guess the plan is that you've got Knife ready for the Eli, so you don't need to go crazy trying to parasite that down. Especially with Parasite on the toll booth also, you could open yourself up to a relatively strong clear. So new ice off the top into a new server, draws another pop-up window, and takes 1 credit. What are you going to do with that last click? You could ice the marked accounts, and yeah, he does go ahead and pop up windows the marked accounts. More of like I don't want to discard play than anything else, but if he doesn't do that, I think, and Rotom gets Katie going, it gets to the point where trashing marked accounts is really good. So that's gonna stop that from ever happening. He'll probably never even check it, just because it's so likely to be a pop-up window. There's nothing else you really want to defend marked accounts with. So Rotom draws a card, finds a blackmail. He could go, in anticipation of the clear, he could just play another Parasite on the toll booth, killing it instantly because of Grimoire. I don't know that you really want to be doing that. The clear from the other side would force a discard, and it would also mean missing a turn of marked accounts. So I think the tool booth is probably just going to get replaced. No reason to waste another Parasite on it. Katie Knight, I think, is probably a pretty good play here. Knight's going to threaten all the remote servers. You can also put the Knight on the ice in front of the Eli and then go knifed in. You do run the risk of seeing another Eli and then you're losing your Knight for nothing. Okay, so he does take down the toll booth here. Second Parasite on toll booth, and that'll kill it. This is fine. I mean, I think because of the circumstances, it's not super necessary, but you do get the free HQ access this turn, and he does manage to steal the breaking news. So that puts both players on 1 point. NEH about to go up to 7 credits, so he finds Astra. That's live right now. Oh wow, he's going to come in for 2 accesses. 100% access, right? He's got to steal the deal. Nope, out of favor. Okay. So, the first faulty HQ access we've seen so far. I think up till now, every single one has been an agenda. The curse has been lifted, and we can play a regular game now. There's Jackson Howard. Could help find an Astro. But I think you're probably better off just moneying on marked accounts here, maybe taking 1 credit. You do run the risk playing against Valencia of just sort of running out of things to do before she gets like medium digs online. With the bad publicity and all the ice trashing out of Anarch, it can be pretty difficult to beat Valencia in the late game. And he plays Jackson Howard and draws 2 cards. I don't like this play. You really want to put money on your marked accounts there. And he pitches the Beal. A little bit of a sequencing error, if nothing else. But yeah, I think you just want to be putting market accounts money there. Your hand is good enough that you don't need to be burning Jackson. But there's the pop-up on archives, so if he wants to check that way, I mean, you're not going to check that way because you have a bad publicity. Jax is only 2 to trash. Comes in the HQ. Eli is rezzed. There's no agendas in HQ, but this res could get a click through. It could force the knife in the wrong location, which is actually what I think is probably going to happen. He's probably going to just bounce a knife. He knows he can trash this Eli, leave HQ wide open. It just looks pretty good from that side of the table. Okay, nope. He's going to go after Jackson. This is going to end up being the actually better play. And then you have your choice of what to do for the rest of the turn. I think Katie. I don't see a reason not to Katie here. Yeah, your other play is, I guess, draw, play a knight. But yeah, it is Katie. Quandary for NEH. Not a bad card. Yeah, you probably just want to click credit, money on marked accounts, hedge fund here. Pretty straightforward. Bring your economy back in the game. And man, those daily casts are really paying off. Rotom's had no money problems despite starting with Liberated and nothing else. And now that Katie's going, that's good enough. The question is, what is he actually trying to do with the stack? Here he's going to, click Eli, trash Eli with the knife on HQ. The play I thought he would probably make last turn, but this actually turns out to be a little more efficient. It lets him use Katie more often. Always good when you're playing Katie to get Katie in play as soon as possible and use her as many turns as you possibly can. He could be thinking about another free HQ access, but yeah, after the Jackson Howard goes off, I think you're wise to not do it. Here's a Quandary for HQ. Maybe another Jackson. I don't know if he wants to put it in the remote. Yeah, he's going to put it behind the ice. And then probably just take some money. I think he could draw 2 cards. Oh, he's going to play the other Jackson. I guess that puts a little bit of pressure on Valencia's economy. I think just because of the possibility of Sansan, you maybe want to check that anyway. But now that there's 2 new remotes, you might want to go and run there. This is a pretty good play to waste Valencia's time, but it does run the risk if he checks both of them that you don't have any Jackson Howard available to dig for Astro, which is what you want to do. But there's Deja Vu making the appearance. Get the Parasite over on Eli. If you're not going to make a run on the Quandary, no reason to put it there yet. Better to just get more Katie money. And Vex draws something that he shoves into a new remote pretty quickly. Puts money on marked accounts, and off the NEH draw, he did find the Astro, so that's probably next turn. Could be a Sansan over there. DBS pad. Obviously not a Jackson Howard because they're all accounted for. A second Grimoire obviously doesn't do anything, but give NBN more money for marked accounts. And just not going to check any remotes here. So, here we go, Astrobioticing. I really think that, the level with which Clot will kill NBN, I wouldn't say that it's overblown, but it was so talked up that people are just not respecting NBN at all, and it's actually a good opportunity to go ahead and play it. I wouldn't be playing NBN in this meta, but I can totally understand why you would. A lot of people, especially when you're like, here in this position where you're competing against, other players who you may respect their strategies or whatever, you might think that these players are going to eschew clock completely. And Rotom just goes ahead and ditches these liberated accounts. He's going to lean on Katie, I guess, pretty hard. On the other side, Vex draws into a sweep, which is, not particularly interesting. He does have the Astro counter. You could ice up R&D here. Yeah, he just chooses not to. He's going to go ahead and put Sansan on top of whatever he has in that server. I guess it's a Jackson Hour. That's going to look like the reverse to the runner. It's going to look like he had a Sansan out and then he put a Jackson or something on it. And that might induce a run. He is in a position to fast advance an NAPD, if that's what that is. Oh, no, I guess he's not because he has a bad publicity Valencia. So maybe that's a little less scary than it usually is. Although just the fact that you see an upgrade. You think that's going to be, there's going to be probably a Sansan in there. I guess in post-clot universe, it could be an Ash. That's like a sort of reasonable way for NBN to try and give itself game against people who are playing clot. But instead he just draws out this blackmail. I think he's probably going to let the Jackson go here. You really don't have much to use. Oh, no, he's going to use it. Where is he? He just reses the Jackson Hour. Just want to make sure he's alive. Yeah, so no use on Jackson area. There's just not a lot you want to put back. Sort of just better to deny the runners 3 credits. Because there's also a Sansan to trash here, you stretch that bad publicity a little bit thin. And no trash on the Sansan. So I guess that signals that the plan is going to be R&D. But he's going to need to find his medium soon, which I assume that he's playing. He goes ahead and draws a card. I think you can even draw another card here. You just really need to find medium. The longer that you let NEH sit around with that Astro counter, the more likely they're going to just score another one. And with the DBS res, that Astro could be found very quickly. Instead, it's a Beal that he finds, but that's actually totally fine. He can just... he's not going to fast advance the Beal. I think I would have definitely thought about fast advancing that Beal. It'll put you in a very good position to race. Obviously, NAPD, pretty hard to score against Valencia. Rotom goes after this DBS. You definitely don't want NBN finding third Astro or second Astro. Ooh, Cyber Cypher. That's an interesting choice. These like value Anarch decks having a little bit of trouble breaking Lotus Field sometimes. A lot of Zoo we've seen, but Cyber Cypher is sort of a new one. And yeah, so Vex goes ahead and uses the Sansan to score Beal. Almost always better to use Sansan than a Biotic Labor because it's only costing you 1 more credit to go ahead and score, and it's going to cost the runner 5, or in this case 4 with the bad publicity to trash it. So just a little bit better value proposition here. It also leaves open the possibility of Biotic into Sansan, which can let you, maybe draw the agenda you need to win the game if he doesn't trash it. So yeah, I mean, a lot of pressure here. You pretty much just have to go after R&D. And he does get the Beal. That would have been the winning agenda, so a good check there. And I assume he's going to go back. I think you just got to go back here. One more card is not the agenda you're looking for. And we'll see what he plays next. Lots of reasonable things to do. Just Mimic, Cyber Cipher R&D. Even draw a card, trying to find medium sooner rather than later could be a fine play. Knight might be a little slow. Parasite might be a little slow. Spoon might be a little slow. Instead, he's going to check HQ. There is the NAPD there. Going to use his Clone Chip Parasite to waste away the Quandary. He misses the NAPD, but that's not a huge deal. So how far away are we from actually fast advancing this NAPD? We've got 3 fast advance ways, right? So like the NAPD is now 4. He's got Biotic and Astro. So the win is available once, you get enough money. At the end of turn, Vex is going to use Jackson Howard. He knows that there's no agenda on the top because of the R&D access, and he just shovels in 1 Jackson Howard. He finds a fast track, which is another way he can, fast advance the win. He can use that plus Biotic Labor plus Sansan to, search up. Wow, he just goes searching now? Oh, does he have enough? Oh, he does have enough, obviously. He's got Sansan and Astro, so that's going to be the game. So that's 2-0 for Vex. Victory for Andy, victory for NEH Astrobiotics. And we can go ahead and check out the other game. Simon Moon versus Simone Moon versus Nobo 17. I won't be able to see the hands, but that's kind of whatever. We can still watch, right, guys? Looks like we got Regas Max versus Blue Sun of some sort. I think, is that a Changeling? So this is probably Blue Sun Glacier. Changeling is a neat, little tech card against Shaper. Often they're just playing Mimic as their only way to break sentries. Maybe sometimes one Fem. Either way, a 4-strength end run sentry can be pretty problematic. So no score here, and I got the sides flipped. There should be an option to flip them back or something. But a data sucker for Max is no joke. It's pretty important to get data sucker counters against Blue Sun in particular. Nobo draws a card. Rez's Executive Boot Camp is probably going to search up. Yep, there's the Adonis campaign. And puts that behind a curtain wall and is going to further protect it. Nope, he's going to ice Archives. It is good to shut off the data sucker sooner rather than later because it's pretty bad for Blue Sun to get their ice parasited. And here's Anthony. I'm going to add him to the call. And by add him to the call, I'm going to create a call. Ooh, an Archives check. So this is this is sort of like a put up or shut up play. Nobo reses a Lotus Field on Archives. It's gonna keep Data Sucker from any money. And I think here you go ahead and you run R&D. He can't really res this ice because if he does, then he can't res his Adonis campaign. That's a lot of misvalue. So you got to give it up. And Max finds a hedge fund to trash. And gets another data sucker counter. Unfortunately, no David or anything. And wow, Max is sitting on a lot of money. 25 credits. Unfortunately, it looks like there's not really any way to get him past this curtain wall. You really don't want to be breaking curtain wall repeatedly, obviously. If you can put together like Corroder or David plus Knife, that would be a huge, huge deal. I can't look at his discard right now, so I don't know if Same Old Knife is available. But there's going to be at least one Knife in this deck, I think. So there's a check on R&D. seeing a Hive, and a third same old thing. I don't know how I feel about third same old thing in the deck in general. There's just not enough targets. Like, 2 has been okay. If you're really scared of losing your Levy, I think the third Deja Vu is better. And here you see him. Oh, there's a Wonton. Maybe that means no legwork, which makes same old thing even worse. Obviously, Wanton Destruction is not something you want to be same old thinking. And Blue Sun takes this time to go ahead and Jackson. Jackson install, probably an Ash in that server. Nope, Crisium Grid on HQ, I guess. Maybe Ash on HQ. It doesn't really matter too much. Data Sucker and Medium are the only thing that trigger in this deck off of a successful run. And there's David and Knife. Yep, there's same old Knife. All 3 credits down, and that's how you do it. Curtain Wall down. That's 14 credits out for Blue Sun and the Adonis Trash. That's a huge, huge setback. Nobo's now sitting on only 3 credits. He's got no economy going. Imp trashes the Adonis for free, and Jackson Howard is next. All right. Okay, so picking up the Changeling, you probably want to replace that with, anything. Nova drew a lot of cards there. He's still got 8 cards, so he's going to have to discard 3 cards. Lotus Field on Archives is a pretty safe bet for, just hiding agendas away. I don't know if that's exactly what he's looking to do here. He did just Jackson previously. He could have got unlucky. But yeah, this is going to be end of turn Parasite on Hive, and another piece of ice goes down. Trashing both David and Imp there. It's usually good as Max to get rid of those. That way they can come back in with the Levy. Definitely 2 cards you want more of. Ooh, this is... yeah. That looks like a misclick to me. You want to play a medium first? Yeah. So he gets back a medium and a Parasite. So this isn't quite my Rare Gas Max list, but it looks relatively similar. Just a clone chip Max with value cards in it. Gets an R&D, steals an NAPD contract. That does put him pretty low on credits, and with no KD, you can't assume that you're going to have plenty, but this is going to be 3 accesses. And with medium, you don't just get the accesses, you get the counters. That's going to threaten the corp deep into the game, and probably demand a purge eventually, but probably not before getting more accesses for free. So ices up R&D, pretty much a necessity against the medium here. I did see a retrieval run out of Max. That's sort of turned off because of the Lotus Field. 2 cards left in Max's stack. This is not usually the position you want to be in. You want to be able to get that extra card draw. And this turn he's got 6 cards to start, 2 in his deck. I think it's time to take inventory and figure out what those cards are, so you know if it's worth drawing or not. If it's, the wrong kind of card. Whoa, and there's Lucky Find, Corroder, Run R&D. So depending on what this is, wow, and it's a no-res, so... And there's an Atlas. So Max hugely ahead here. Potentially 1 agenda off winning. I don't know what this remote is. Probably Executive or Jackson Howard. Maybe he picks up that Lotus Field for the money and is going to use the Jackson Howard to maybe protect his archives. He goes ahead and advances his R&D ice, so that's probably the Changeling. And then he's going to ice up his... No, he's going to take a credit and discard. Alright, so we pretty much know Changelings over there. You could same old Deja Vu for your Mimic, play it, and then get into R&D. I don't know about this blind res. I think it's pretty obvious what this is, and I would try and get Mimic online before doing it. Just like with all those free... Oh, okay, so he's going to go for Parasite instead. This is even better. Making it so, you know, Blue Sun can't pick up his ice again. Now, you know, if you this is the power of Data Sucker plus Parasite against Blue Sun. The Parasite out of Kate is just really ineffectual against Blue Sun because they can just pick up pretty much all the ice. It's really hard to kill anything besides Ice Wall. But when you got Data Sucker going online, when you blow up Blue Sun's ice, you really stunt their economy because they're playing stuff like Data Pike and Hive that, you know, they're paying a premium for this ice that isn't that good in other decks because they know they can get their money back. But when you deny them the ability to do that, and then you do things like Trash Adonis Campaign, David Curtain Wall, you know, it's a very big deal. And there's David plus Spoon on a toll booth. Just another huge blow. Nobo's down to 2 credits, and we're probably not even going to need to see a levy here. Simon does go down to 2 credits to make this run, which means that he's not going to be able to steal any NAPDs. But Blue Sun's just so far behind on money. This is coming on R&D. It's going to be really difficult. So no go there. If that is a Jackson Howard, though, and there are agendas and archives, I mean, he's going to get 5 fresh accesses this turn, isn't he? I guess the only reasonable thing to do is like Data Pike credit. That's like the only way you can really stop him. I guess Caduceus does it too. So he's gonna need like Caduceus or Data Pike to shore up R&D for a turn, then take a clear. I do suspect there's probably priority requisition in the discarding Jackson on the table, which is really, really, really dangerous. You know, priority requisition obviously represents the win here for Max, and the fact that he can, you know, get all free accesses off the medium after running archives, if this is indeed Jackson and archives agendas, it's going to be really hard for Blue Sun. The saving grace here is that Max is down to 2 credits and no more cards in the deck, 1 card in the hand. I don't expect anything like Snare after seeing Toll Booth and Adonis Campaign, but you know, running out of money is still a possibility. And Novo says, yeah, indicating that he has nothing to do. Conceding is against the rules. Conceding is not against the rules. That's this isn't like a tournament. You're allowed. Okay, so he ices up and he takes 2 credits. This is where we find out if it is indeed a condition or a Data Pike. You don't want to just res RD here. Ooh, okay. Same old Lucky Find. And he gets in for 6 accesses. Only one of these accesses, or 2 of these accesses are fresh. If there is Pyrrhic in the discard, it's kind of whatever. He steals Corporate War. Okay, so he does get a new agenda here. I mean, Nobo could clear here, but okay. So it's Executive Boot Camp. He's going to res a Hive, I guess? Yep, that's a Hive. You could even start checking HQ here. Nobo draws a card. Pretty dangerous to draw here. You're giving up more medium accesses. But on the other hand, you do sort of just have to cross your fingers. Ooh, and there's an Overset Aeon on a remote curtain wall. So that's going to represent a little bit of money. Click 1, levy AR access. If he finds a Parasite here, that's pretty good. It doesn't look like he did. So he's going to have to pass on R&D this turn. But it doesn't matter. There's the Atlas. That's game. So Simon won both. Vex won both. So we'll watch Simon versus Vex here. Is that what I said? Vex versus Simon? I guess I can watch. Yep, Simon. Hopefully I can share screen. I'll be right back. We're waiting on Anthony. Yo!
Alright, let me turn my volume down for a second. Can you hear me alright?
Yeah.
Alright, everyone.
Share screen or video. Alright. You're walking around with... Okay.
So I'm just trying to adjust it.
So you're sure Skype's not working? Or you're sure that Octagon isn't working for you?
So my Octagon, all of my corp images are not showing. And like the actual card isn't showing.
It's just like a blank white card or something?
Yeah, it's like totally fucked. So
alright, I'll try sharing your screen. Hopefully it's not too far behind. You can see my screen now, right?
yeah.
Alright. So the first game was wait, what the hell? Did they start without us? If they start without us, I gotta get them out of this game.
Alright.
I forget what... there were 2 near the top Astrobiotics being played.
Alright.
Yeah, we got 2... Yeah, I didn't see any clot. There is a Reg-Ass Max, a Stealth Andy, and then I didn't see what else, but...
Okay, cool.
I did see something else. Oh yeah, we saw Valencia. It looked like it was just like a regular good stuff Valencia.
Alright.
I think we watched I think Vex's game first. Vex won with Stealth Andy and then one with Astrobiotics. Over on the other side, Simon is playing Reg-Ass Max and something that I didn't see yet.
So after Kate had a dominating performance in the invitational, we have like no Kate here.
Well, I yelled at everybody. I was like, "You guys better not play Kate and RP because I don't want to watch that shit." Could not connect.
My screen share is still loading, so I don't know.
You can't see?
No.
Oh, dang. Yeah, you might want to just get in the game then. You literally can't see any cards?
I can see like all of the runner stuff fine. So
it's just literally all the corp stuff you can't see at all?
Yeah, except for like a couple corp cards. It's really weird. I have no idea what's going on.
So you can't see my screen at all?
No. You could try.
I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna try again.
Yeah.
It might be Skype that's fucking up.
Now I can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hopefully I don't get overloaded. Keep an eye on the stream, I guess.
Okay.
You might be like a few seconds behind.
That's fine. You just have to do a good job saying things out loud then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I need to like totally uninstall Octagon, kill everything, and then just reinstall.
Did you try using one of those like that new like image pack automatic thing?
Yeah, that's what I need to get. Is one
oh,
of those.
You didn't? I thought that's not what fucked it up.
No.
Okay. Let me know when you see the next thing Simon says on your screen. Just vocalize so I know how bad you're lagging.
When I see the what?
The next thing that Simon says in the chat box.
Oh, he said K.
Yeah, I know. But tell me when you see the next thing he says.
Alright, HB just loaded in for me. How do I show you my hand?
Okay, so your lag is pretty fine.
Alright. I could always, like, join into the Octagon game, and then...
No, this is fine. Your lag is, like, 1 second, so...
Oh, okay. That's totally fine. Whatever.
Just gonna make sure the stream's working. Yeah, the stream's fine. Okay, so it looks like Simon is playing HB and Max. It's not quite reg ass. We saw 3 same old things. We saw a wanton destruction, and we saw a retrieval run.
Okay, interesting. The retrieval run's really interesting.
Yeah, we also saw a knife and a spoon. Other than that, it looked pretty standard. He did have Lucky Find in his deck, though.
Okay, so what is he looking to retrieval run?
I don't know. He could be playing Fem. He could just be looking to retrieval run as like an additional, recursion effect. I think it's totally fine. You could even just play 1 retrieval run and then just use it to like get out, whatever. All right, so we're gonna see Andy versus HB. This is traditionally a pretty dang good matchup for Andy.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like HB a lot of the time is like relying on the ability to like rush out campaigns and have the runner have a lot of difficulty, nerfing their economy. But Andy's head start, along with what's usually like an early security testing plus Desperado, sort of like negates that HB advantage a little bit.
We'll see what he gets. Katie Jones, Dirty Laundry.
Yeah, we're gonna be missing that first 2 HB, but this is for a no Desperado hand. This is pretty good, I would say. He's just gonna Dirty Laundry in archives. This is fine. You really want to do like Katie here, but you definitely can't afford. You don't want to be discarding any of these cards.
No.
You could just go Cloak, and then Katie next turn. Yeah, he goes Cloak Katie. I guess it really doesn't make a difference. You're not using either of them, are you?
Yeah, I mean, like it's kind of unfortunate to be playing these cards and then not using them at all, but it's not that big of a deal at all. So
it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
All right, so
Cyberdex
on HQ. I think that card like does actual nothing.
Yeah.
In this matchup. All right, so there's a wraparound.
All right.
So Andy's just gonna have to find what she needs to find. Interesting that he chooses the face check before playing the Mimic. You could like play Mimic and then run HQ, then play Mimic and run R&D, and you're kind of safe. He might be just like waiting because he wants to install Switchblade rather than Mimic. So maybe he's just thinking he doesn't ever need to install this Mimic. And he just takes one R&D axis and plays the RDI.
Oh, okay.
I guess Ichi was turned on there against the cloak. Not really what you want to be doing, blowing up just the cloak, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, is that an NAPD off the top? Does that mean that he just declined to steal an NAPD?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, interesting.
I mean, he was at 5 credits, so it's reasonable. Maybe just
he does have
like
eight.
be out of the game.
Yeah,
but,
and he has no Desperado. HG is going to take the opportunity to fast advance for Trivius here.
Yeah. Pretty reasonable. Goes down himself and leaving R&D totally exposed.
It looks like we're seeing a Jackson Howard. He chooses to trash Jackson Howard, but not steal NAPD there.
Huh.
And then he's going to just put money on Katie and special order up Corroder. It's going to help him get into HQ, obviously. He's got the Mimic. Yeah, I wish I could have figured out what those R&D ices were, but we don't know. So there's Eli. Andy knows about this Eli.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, yeah, R&D.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to say, who dies HQ?
What was that ice on HQ? Is that an Ichi? Why
I didn't see it.
God damn it. I was looking at it just before. You know what I can do? It is an Ichi. I just looked at the stream. It's on 45 away. So that's Eli on R&D, Ichi on HQ. Andy starts your turn. Oh, and Resident IQ for 3. That's going to hard end the run, and it's going to probably get bigger. So that's a pretty good play. You could check HQ here. Like take money off Katie Corona to check HQ, but instead he just decides to put money on, draw a card, and install another cloak, which is fine.
I really like IQ here. Like that's going to be one of the better pieces of ice you could have played.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that good against Refractor though, and he does have the resources to go get it. Unfortunately, he doesn't have enough memory yet to install all the breaker suites.
It would be pretty good right here.
It is good here, and he's going for it.
Yeah.
There's 2 NAPDs in the Hospret project in there. He sees the NAPD, and he decides not to steal it again.
Just really doesn't want to steal NAPDs. It's interesting.
And he chooses to trash the Cyberdex virus suite, right? What is that about? Why do you trash that? It just seems like he's giving up on money to me.
Does he have any viruses in his deck at all?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, sometimes Stealth Andy plays like a Data Sucker or something. He gets the Hospret project, so
that's good.
I mean, yeah. If he doesn't want to steal NAPDs, that's all he's going to get.
Fast Advance is dead. Long live Fast Advance.
Okay, so there's the Switchblade. And there's the Refractor. So the Breaker Suite's going to be complete here.
Okay, there we go.
Unfortunately, it's not quite complete. You do have to deal with, lack of memory here.
Yeah,
so
he really needs Desperado bad.
So DBS and a mystery install. He Katie's up. Yeah, Desperado would be nice.
Yeah, this looks a lot better because of the lack of Desperado too. Like checking it and not doing anything actually costs. So
he checks the inside remote. There's a Adonis campaign. And he chooses to trash it. This is probably the right call.
Yeah.
Discarding second Katie Jones. Not going to do anything. So Simon DBS into another DBS. Installs Toll Booth in front of his first DBS. I don't know if he actually plans on rezzing that or not, but
that's interesting because
so he is protecting from bank job here.
Yeah, that's true. He's stopping bank. Yeah, okay. So it works out well, but
the thing is like Refractor's going to break. Refractor's going to break that for only 3, which means that the bank jobs are actually still fine. And the toll booth is really expensive to res. Not that it's the worst thing in the world to get your toll booth res, but I mean, he's only got 8. He's got also R&D interface.
I'm liking. So I don't know. The double bank jobs at once is just like, okay, protect your remote now and don't play anything else.
Right.
So it's just really telegraphing it.
Here's a last click dirty laundry into archives without using Katie. I don't like this play. You might as well just be using Katie here. Like, you're clicking for 3 credits with your dirty laundry, but you're sort of clicking for 3 credits with your Katie too. So it's just sort of like a waste of a card.
Yeah, you'd much rather just use Katie. I mean, since your Desperado's gonna... Okay, interesting.
Yep, there's another ice. Okay, so there's like a remote. But he's like really afraid to install here.
So the Corp has...
I think installing the second cloak at all was a mistake here. And wow,
Yeah.
he goes running into this Ichi with only 1 click left. This is a huge error.
Oh yeah, I did not like that at all. I think at the start of that turn...
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
Roto Turret is pretty much like out of the picture these days because Architect is just better so much of the time. But Ichi is everywhere, and that's probably his only corrodor going down.
that was devastating right
Yeah.
there.
I think he just threw this game. I don't think there was really another way for him to lose.
Yeah, man. Like, so he could have just ran the remotes early and tried
could also
to
just play
start playing pressure.
He could also just play the Switchblade and lose a cloak. Like, you got
That's
another cloak in your deck. You're not going to have to break, like, 2 huge code gates in one run, probably. You got the Ghost Runner ready. Like if you're going to make a run, you can run early, or you can just install over a cloak. And here, obviously, he's got all the memory in the world now.
Yeah.
I guess that's the plan, right? Just, and he chooses to install
Silencer
rather than Switchblade. So do we think that there's any way for him to get into HQ anymore, or do you think HQ is locked up? Stealth Andy is usually only playing 1 corrodor, right?
Yeah, I mean, does he have any recursion? Not really, not for programs, right?
No,
So
he might be playing a Breach. But,
like a 1 breach, maybe.
Yeah, maybe a 1 of Breach. 1 of Fem is really unlikely, I think.
Yeah, like back in the day, Andy would run like 1 of Corpses, but that's long since then. So.
Yeah, he's also got this like Underworld Contacts package in his deck. For I guess like a little extra long game, but what good is your long game money if you don't have a corrodor?
Corrodor is pretty important.
Yeah, certainly.
Let's see what he has.
So the thing is like maybe corrodor is actually the least important right now because most of the time HB has got 3 Elis, right? There's usually in this rush deck only 2 other barriers, so you can click through Eli. There's like maybe like 1 wall of static. He's clearly not playing the next package. Here's 1 wraparound, and like maybe there's 1 wall of static or 1 bastion or something like that. But I don't think there's going to be that many more barriers. I don't think he's out of the game yet.
Yeah, so that's reasonable. So you're just like, okay, my siphons are dead. Just gotta hope that I can smash into R&D in the remote before he can get whatever real barriers he has down on them.
He takes click 1, draw a card, which I dislike. I think you just really want to just run R&D here. I mean, it definitely depends on like what the rest of his deck is.
It's kind of awkward because he has all these recurring credits that he's not made any use of.
Yeah.
And he's got these bank jobs, which he hasn't made any use of. All right, and we fast advance out a beta test, and obviously no reason to run this one, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, why risk it when you're doing really well?
No reason.
I mean, inside jobs can get through.
Yeah, he could just inside job into R&D here. He's going for this like really extreme long game plan. He's playing Underworld Contacts without a link. This is almost certainly a mistake. I don't think that there's any way this game goes long enough for that to make sense versus running R&D. And there's another upgrade. I missed what it was. It's either a Sansan or a Cyberdex virus. So probably Sansan Syndicate. All right, take money off Katie. Oh, a second corrodor. He's okay.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
So there's second corrodor. Wow, and there's so this is like a really, really slow way to go here.
And like the thing is the Underworld and the Dyson are both so late
Yeah, there's no way
I
it's going to
think
pay
it's
off.
going to last that long to pay off.
No, it won't.
But I mean, you need 5 turns just to get the credits that you paid to play both those cards.
Correct. And now, all the pieces that are necessary to win the game are in hand. He can go ahead and Sansan, assuming that's what that is. He can go ahead and Sansan his beta test, leaving Ash to protect the Sansan. And then he's got Archive Memories for Biotic Labor, so he can fast advance an NAPD eventually if Sansan goes unmolested.